orgulloso estoy de mi herencia judía. Benjamin Lev Shlomo.
Yeah, kid. Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer podcast. Yo soy el judío maravilloso, aka Charles Weinraub, aka the Handsome Homebuyer, aka Captain Permit. Big podcast today. I'm really excited for a number of different reasons. The last 3-4 weeks, I've been working with Maddie. Maddie, I love you, man. All right, we've been doing a lot of content, getting vulnerable, getting uncomfortable, putting ourselves out there, and the reaction from people has been absolutely amazing. In conjunction with that, we have the video podcast going, and the level of guests on the video podcast is going through the roof, which brings us to today's guest, which we're pushing the bar, and he is definitely the top guy that we've had so far. He's a good friend of mine. We met each other through real estate, just buddies doing real estate deals. And I know that, he was a professional athlete. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, for me, it's like, if you're a cool guy, you're a cool guy. I don't care, or girl. I don't care what you've done or what you do. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. If you're cool, you're cool. And then one day, for like shits and giggles, I'm like, let me just Google his name. And I'm like, oh, Nicky Polanco is regarded as one of the greatest lacrosse players, although he's so humble he's not going to tell you that, but I might drag it out of him, that has ever graced the green in a place where, like I always talk about how Long Island, New York is the hardest place to do anything, right? Real estate, which I'm sure you can relate to. Jungle. I know you're in a number of other different businesses, which we'll talk about, but like there were literally, I joked before and I was like, yo, there are literally Indians 400 years ago, like down the street running, and you're like, yeah, actually they were. And this is the tribe and this is the name of the game. And they like, killed each other and then like supported their families. And I'm like, I was just screwing around about that. The point being that you are known as one of the greatest lacrosse players of all time in the place where lacrosse was born.
That's right.
Right?
Amen to that.
He's a great man. He's a great friend. He's an accomplished real estate investor. He owns his own medical device business, which we'll talk about. He's a father of 3 boys, which we're definitely going to talk about. Nicky Polanco.
How you doing? What's up, guys?
Dude, you're the man. So this is normal for you. I mean, this is like toned down for you in the sense that you're used to being on like Channel 12 News and probably like,
It's been a few years now being retired, but throughout my career, we've been fortunate to be able to get interviewed, and it's really been exciting. Great sport.
I'm going to ask you something, and you could say no. So, you guys don't know Nicky. You're obviously going to see Nicky. Nicky's jacked. Like, Nicky is straight up cut out of marble. Cut out of diamond? What's the hardest fucking substance there is?
Not sure.
I think it's diamonds, right?
Diamonds.
So, like, when I hug you, it's like hugging like a diamond tree. Because he's like 6'4", 6'5", and just what I'm trying to get is, you think we can get an ab shot for the ladies on camera?
Let's see how this podcast
We'll see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
It's not for me.
I retired a couple years ago.
It's not for me, wink, wink. Anyway.
Let's see, yeah.
So, where do we start, man? I mean, I'm always intrigued by... So, the thing that I'm most impressed about you that intrigued me, I don't even know if you remember this, a long time ago you said to me, when we first met and you were like, how long have you been doing real estate for?
For about 6 years.
Okay, so... Yep. I didn't realize you were doing real estate for 6 years. Like, when I met you...
Really doing it 3 years.
Okay. I met you probably like 3 years ago, 2 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
So, the thing I was most impressed with you is, like, I think most successful people have a very, like, similar kind of mindset. Or, like, we have this little kind of, this certain chip. So, I remember you having this conversation, me saying, like, you talked to me about your pro career and about how you were, like, 150% dedicated to it, and you were also always like trying to get a little bit better, like get the edge, whatever it took, right? And you're just like, right. I have to learn the system, I have to figure it out, I have to get the patterns, and then once I get the patterns, I'm just gonna work it, and it's like, failure's not an option. You always had this like delusional view in your mind where you were like, I'm gonna make it happen, like I see it in the future, and that's how you ran your career in lacrosse to ultimately be one of the greatest of all time. Your medical device business is very, very successful, and now you're going to replicate that, I have no doubt, in real estate. So I'm kind of like curious to know, you seem to have like a philosophy or a methodology for success that you can put into anything.
Yeah, to me, I feel the only, I think if you have passion and work ethic, that to me, that's the recipe right there. You surround yourself with the right people. You have to make sure you're passionate about it. You have to be excited to go to work every day, to be a part of whatever you're doing. If you're not there, you're checked out, it's not going to work. If you're chasing something or chasing money, or, if it's not there, you'll just know it. So for me, it's passion and a work ethic. I love to work. Like from my father, the way I was raised, just watching him his whole life, all he did was work for us to give us the best life possible. How do you not? Coming up with your two brothers. My brothers are both the same. We like to work. We don't like to be away from home, but at the same time, we like to work. So for me, it was the passion, the work ethic, that combination, that recipe, just breeds success.
Do you feel like that was ingrained from you at like a very young age, just from watching your father and just kind of?
Absolutely. I mean, there was no Saturday that we were allowed to sleep in. I mean, it was the shades get pulled open, blankets get ripped off. Sometimes you get some water squirt in your face, get up, and you would find something for us to do. Whether maybe we didn't have anything to do, but dig a trench or do the weeds and get up and work, clean the garage out, just taking stuff out and putting stuff in and as a father now. Mm-hmm. It's tough for me to do that because you feel bad because they go through school and they have sports, but at the same time, it really it really just instills work ethic in kids young. And to me, I owe both my parents, no question, to that. I owe them.
So I got a question. So you have 3 boys. What are their ages?
7, 5, and 1.
See, I don't have kids, but like I think about this just with the way technology is and what goes on. Like I was like you when I was a kid. My parents were like, go outside. I played travel ice hockey growing up. I was always out playing hockey. Like I couldn't sit still. I mean, I have ADHD at the max, so like I can't sit there anyway. But I think about like today, as your kids get older, like will you allow your kids to have video games? Will you allow them to have cell phones? Like what's like your take on that?
I'm right now. It's already happening. My 7-year-old, my 5-year-old. I kind of realized I don't want them to be, not that I'm going to be the only parent not to give their kids an iPad. They do use it, but it's limited. I recently moved on a block where I live now, and there's 13 boys and 4 girls under the age of 12.
Okay.
And it is a beautiful thing where the kids are outside. We have to beg them to come inside.
Dude, that's super rare.
It's very, very rare.
I remember growing up, outside kids everywhere. I go to my parents' house, there's no kids anywhere.
Look at the parks. Parks are empty. Streets are empty.
It's freaking crazy. What are they doing?
They're outside. They're doing everything that we did. They're playing basketball, running bases,
That's
tag,
awesome.
Manhunt, getting in trouble, fighting with each other, compromising, learning how to be. They're just being kids, and it's unbelievable. We have a complete open door policy on our block. We all do, but in my house, it's as crazy as it can be sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's. I'd rather have that than being somewhere else, not knowing what's going on. Seeing the top of their head and their thumbs going, that's unacceptable to me. And there's a place for it. There really is, because because of the times today. But I'd rather than be outside nonstop, getting grass stains on their knees.
Especially at that point in time, like they're not building brands, they're not running businesses. Like they're supposed to be kids.
Go be a kid. Go get in trouble. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the question I know is on everyone's mind. It's on my mind, and anybody who knows me knows that I ask this of every single person I know that has 3 boys. And I'm going to tell you my theory behind how it happens, and I need your sign off or not. All right?
Yes.
You ready? We touched upon this a little bit before. So you have 3 boys.
I have 3 boys.
So if I have kids, all I want is boys, because I hear boys are a lot easier. My parents have told me, sorry, Mary and Leah, my sisters, that I was the easiest, that boys are definitely easier, right? Now, my buddy Hector is a man-making machine, right? Puerto Rican guy, tough guy, he's a fireman, he's got 2 boys, and I'm like, Hector, listen. My mother says she knows how to have boys, and if the time comes, she'll give me the secret, but she hasn't. So I said, Hector, listen, I need to know what it is, bro. Tell me what it is. He's like, all right, this is what you do. Deep and to the left. And there's another thing. Deep and to the left, and you have to you can't make love to your wife in that moment. You have to pretend that you're a gladiator, and it's like 1462 or whatever the hell they were around, right? And you're about to decapitate some guy. He's like, that's what you got to do. He's like, if you don't do that, you're gonna get a boy, you're gonna get a girl, and you're screwed. That's it. So I need to know if there's validity to that.
You do have to go into Spartan mode. You got to get focused.
Do you?
Get your shield out. Helmet on.
I want you to think back to the moment of conception for those 3 boys and think, were you thinking I'm slaughtering a man? What was going through your mind at that moment? Were you hammered?
One of them was, my teeth were definitely purple from the wine. Teeth were purple, little tint. Out east, no issue. Thank God, no issues, conceiving any of our children, which not a lot of people can't say the same, but Spartan mode, no question.
Is it deep into the left? Well, here's another theory I have. Excuse me. I think, right?
You treat it like a steak.
Yeah.
Marinate. Afterwards.
But this is my thing also, right? And I don't know this from personal experience with you, but I have this theory that every man that has a lot of boys or all boys has a hammer. And let me explain to you why I think they have a hammer. I think they have a hammer because there's that whole thing where the male sperm dies faster. right?
I'll get into that.
The male sperm dies faster than the female sperm. Like, the female sperm lasts longer, but the male sperm swims faster. Some shit like that, right? So my theory is, like, if you have a hammer, you basically spray the egg from as close as you can, so you have a better shot. Now, if you don't, if you have a smaller one, you end up popping out girls. Like, there's certain people that have old girls, and you look at them, and you're like, I know that fucking thing is...
Yeah, hung like a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Like a honeybee.
Yes, exactly.
So,
my philosophy is deep and to the left. I think deep is very important. To the left or the right, that I'm not too sure about. Deep, I agree. You gotta let it sit afterwards. You gotta let it sit.
So you gotta bring it in.
Let it sit. You gotta bring it in tight.
How long? What do I have to do? I have to count to 10. Is it Mississippi's? Like,
for me, it's about 15 Mississippi, and then you come out, and then the wife has to sit afterwards.
Oh, like do the
for a little while.
The cross and just.
You have to cross and just stay.
You didn't really make her do that every time, did you?
The first time with the purple teeth, no. Other times,
she'll
laugh.
Did she teach
she'll crack
you,
up laughing about it.
Did she tell you this, or did you tell her this?
No, I told her that.
Really?
I told her.
Did your mother tell you this?
No, my mother did not.
Because you're one of... you're one of...
I'm one of three.
Exactly.
One of three.
So you're just a man-making machine.
That's just... they say men make men.
You come from...
My older brother, has 3 girls.
Really?
I have 3 boys. I'm the middle of 3 boys. My mother's the middle of 3 girls.
Really?
So I hear from my friends, men make men.
Yeah.
The guys who have daughters will say men make girls. Real men make girls. So the T-shirts are out, things are out. You could, whatever you say. I'm fortunate enough to keep the last name going.
Yeah.
I don't mind the testosterone in the house. Getting back to how you make them, the real scientific side, like you mentioned, the male sperm are faster but die quicker.
Oh, you're in the medical field, so you know this
stuff. I
stuff.
work with these guys, and I specialize in urology and gynecology. That's what I specialize in.
Really?
That's it. Waist down, knees up. Penis and vagina all day long. That's it. That's all I look at. That's all I look at every day. Yes, penis and vagina.
Dude, educate the ignorant
17
here.
years.
If you really know the secret to having boys, I need to know.
It's very simple. You have to know when your ovulation, when the women are ovulating.
Okay.
So if you know the eggs are going to drop.
Right. No, keep going.
If the eggs are going to drop.
Okay.
If you could time that, think about it. Male sperm swim quicker.
Yeah.
Swim faster, but die faster.
So when you have to marinate the day of the ovulation?
The second the ovulation, when the women ovaries will start doing it.
Now they have apps for this shit.
They'll start jumping jacks. The ovaries will start doing jumping jacks, moving around a little bit. Eggs drop. Yeah. The women should know it. Be dialed in.
That day. How long do you ovulate for? 1 day, 2 days?
I think it's 3 days. So you have this day, and the second day is really when the eggs are sitting there. They're sitting there hanging out. You want to unleash.
Well, so let me ask. All right, do you want to do
the beast?
You want to do it on the second day or the third day? Because if you do it on the first day,
there's a chance that the guys will get there and they don't know what to do. They're like a bunch of happy idiots and they just pass out. Right?
Exactly. Okay. This is what I need to know.
The female come behind. They take it easy. It's a it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. They're relaxed. They're way more intelligent.
They're always so much smarter than us.
They're way more
intelligent. They were always so much smarter.
The women are a whole different level. We should be wearing helmets.
We should as women's lib really comes full steam right now. We should be worried.
Yeah.
Wait. So, all right. They ovulate 3 days. I marinate day 2.
Yes. That's to be sure. And you're still never sure, but that's to be as close to sure as possible.
If you've learned nothing else during this podcast, men, marinate day 2. And some women, there's a lot of women I know who are like, yo, all I want is boys. Girls are a freaking nightmare when they turn 12.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
Marinate.
Although one of my secrets that I would love to have had a girl. Seeing my nieces that I have, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law's daughter, Eva, and then my three nieces, Adriana, Valentina, and Angelina. I love the girl aspect of it. It's just a different dynamic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It would have been nice, and it's easier for me to say because I had my boys already.
Yeah,
so it's easier for me to say.
Well,
I'll keep it real.
Is there a possibility for number 4?
You know what?
You know what? Here's my theory. Once you you have one. Okay, one's portable. Doesn't really change your life too much. 2, 1 for each hand. All right, you're not outnumbered. You got 2 people. Once you hit 3, you might as well have 30. It's just pandemonium.
Doesn't matter. At that point, you divide and conquer. You have to. If you're playing zone already, nobody wants to babysit 3. Nobody wants to babysit 4 or 5. So the older one takes care of the older one's going to mature faster, taking care of the younger ones.
You know what the problem with you is though? The problem with you is, I feel, for your poor wife is, does she want a girl?
Does your wife want a girl? People said it a lot. She said she loves her boys. She's a mother of boys, my wife. Yeah. Not that it's a bad thing, but she's her personality, it suits. She would be a great
with your luck, even if you didn't marinate, went in day one, and then shot shallow, you would still get a boy. Like that's what
my friends tell me all
when
the time.
I see you, I'm like, you're the guy.
And I feel like God gives you what you can handle. My personality, I would probably be in a straitjacket if I had girls. My older brother is chill, calm, even keeled, different mindset. I would have full-blown anxiety, nervous breakdown, because I'd be too worried about them out in the real world. That's what I mean. Like, I'm a little more intense. Yeah. I'd be too worried.
Because then you think, listen, being a professional lacrosse player and seeing how guys are, if you have a girl, and if you have a girl, she's going to be good looking, right? We'll give credit where credit's due. She's going to be like, 5'6", runway model type girl, and you're going to be like, you're going to have to go buy a firearm.
That's it.
If you don't have firearms, you're going to have to get a firearm.
Or have Keith Trimble, my trainer, really, I have to stay there, but have him train me to
I told you that
weapons.
I told you I worked, so that's Belmore Kickboxing,
yes.
Right? So I told you I worked at the 7-Eleven across the street when I was a kid.
Okay, yeah.
So I worked at the 7-Eleven across the street in Belmore when I was 16 to 21, and that's when he first went over there. So I saw him like 20 some odd years ago.
Oh, wow.
Bro, first of all, he looks the same today.
Yeah, the guy's...
that guy is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Freak of nature.
Unbelievable. Tough dude. Even better, great guy, but tough dude. Man. He's
obviously a little bit older, but like this fucking guy is just he's a trained killer.
Yes.
But nicest guy in the world.
Yep.
But there's something about him, like if you look, you're like, nobody messes with that guy.
Yep. Like you slay elephant seals in Russia. That's what you look like.
Pretty much.
Kinda,
with your bare hands.
Yes.
Not even with a club. with your bare hands.
Yes.
So now that we've talked about semen for 15 minutes, I wanna revert back to, I wanna kind of know about the the progression of your life, where you came from. I know you're a local Long Island guy, right?
Yes, Oceanside.
See, the cool thing about this is, like, for as much as I know you, I feel like there's so many more layers to Nicky Polanco that have to come to the surface. All right, only the good ones, right? We'll leave some mystery.
Yes, please.
Local Long Island guy.
Yes.
Right. Just love lacrosse, high school, competitive athlete, just super competitive by nature. Just have the energy. I'm curious to know, how were you as a student?
Academics wasn't my strong suit. It's not. It's pretty obvious. Just because of I don't know if I was diagnosed with ADD, but I definitely am Type A. I'm hyperactive. My legs, sitting in class, sitting still, my legs were constantly going. They still go. Man. I mean, that's really, I think, was my, was some of my issue with paying attention is just my personality, my the amount of energy that I have. I mean, I still am like that. I haven't changed. But I realized that in order for me to play. It sounded like it was years ago in movies where athletes didn't have to go to class and do whatever. That's the complete opposite. Yeah. The best coach I've had always focused on academics first, and they dangled that carrot over my head and saying, you cannot play if you don't do this in school. And that's what really, so I was a okay student.
High school also?
Same thing.
But see, here's the thing about, like, so I had no attention span. I was constantly getting in trouble. I always say that my second grade teacher is probably the only person that ever understood me, Miss Smithy. So she used to open the side door of the school and tell me to run around the building until I burned it off and came back.
Unbelievable.
True story. Only lady that ever understood me, and I did very well in the class. Other than that, like, I was getting kicked out, I was getting suspended. Not because I was bad, but I just wouldn't shut up because I was so full of energy. The difference between, I think, me and you is I still feel like you were loved by everyone. Like, I feel like the principal's like, love Nikki. Nikki, you can't, like, you gotta pay, you have to go to class. Yeah, I know you cut or whatever, but, like, I feel like you never really got in trouble for anything because everybody always loved you.
I really, what, you're kind of right. From my older brother, really keeping me focused. Like, my brother was like a god in high school and growing up in the town. He could do no wrong. Mondo, oh my goodness. He never drank, never did drugs.
That's his first name, Mondo?
Armando, yeah.
Armando.
Yes, never drank, never did drugs. Football player, lacrosse player, captain. Everybody liked him, just a great person. And if I tried to go off to the left, he would just bring me back in. Eventually, I never wanted to disappoint him or my parents. So, yes, I never drank. I never did a drug in my life, still to this day. I never tried drugs ever.
Wow, really?
Anything. Yeah, I played sports. I just bought in to my parents and my parents. I bought into the coaches, the teachers, and I tried to do, to be a good person.
You're the only other person I've really ever met that's never really drank or done drugs before.
Yeah.
So I have, like, my own unique reason, but I'm curious to know what yours is. Like, when you really think about it, like, why did you never do drugs or drink? Because, I mean, bro, you're a pro athlete, you're a rock star in high school, you're a rock star at Hofstra, right? All it is it's party all the time.
It's nonstop. It starts with my parents. I mean, it's the way I was raised. They never really drank in front of us. They would drink on, like, some special occasions, Or if they had people over, we would be in bed. We wouldn't be sitting there with Uncle Joey drinking Johnny Walker or having a sip on the side. It doesn't happen. My parents wanted to keep us as young, as innocent as possible, as long as they could, which was genius, right? They didn't have us exposed to it. So that was them. And then my older brother, he was he paved the way. And as an older brother, it's extremely difficult. He paved the way, chose not to. He had his own reasons. And then as I got older and decided myself that I didn't like to not have control of myself.
Yeah, that was my thing,
I don't want to
too.
take something and all of a sudden or embarrass myself. And not to say I didn't have a few drinks. I'm not saying, but I never did a drug. I never really drank throughout college. I never drank. High school, never drank. Now I'll occasionally drink. Having 3 kids, different story.
It might
occasionally,
drive,
but
it might drive you there.
I don't think people would say I'm a drinker, at all. No, and anybody who knows me, like any of my teammates playing pro all the years, like I would go out with the guys because it was really important to gel with my teammates and go out afterwards, have a couple of drinks, and that's it. Have I had my moments? A few here and there, but overall, that's not me. Like I'm definitely not drinking or drugs, and far from it.
It's interesting to see how very successful people that I know, like I always say, like when you wake up one day and you realize that like society has no hold on you, when you don't give a shit what the world thinks about you, is like when you're truly free.
That's true.
Right? And you have that like leadership mindset, and you have that, whereas like for you to not succumb to peer pressure at those times and to be an individual and leader, like says a lot about your character, which is why you've gotten to where you are. It's
important. It's really important. It's more to prove to yourself and to be a leader, and like you said. And if I was a captain on several teams that I've been on, and just to lead by example. Yeah. It's not just lacrosse. Lacrosse is the smallest part, and football was the smallest part. I love football, lacrosse, basketball. It's bigger than that. It's all about your team. You're only as good as your weakest link, right? So, if you're doing it, then the rest of the teammates, it's like, if he's doing it, or the other guys, older guys, the veterans are doing it, then maybe I should buy in and do the same thing. And just, that's really what it's about. I mean,
when did you get hooked on lacrosse? Because you could have played anything, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And anybody who knows me, the little secret, anybody who knows me from growing up, football was my true love. Like football was my sport.
Yeah, because dude, you're a monster.
Yes, and it's not that. It's more of my mentality is more of a football player. Like the passion, the excitement. Like I hated to lose. I was so intense. Lacrosse guys are known to be more chill, laid back. Like,
really?
All good, man. Yeah, like it's all good. We got another game. Like I'm like, no. It's like you treat it like it's. I've had teammates tell me, like, take it easy. Like you treat it like it's a Super Bowl. Like this is our Super Bowl. This is what. Like that's what I know. I don't know anything. It's either on or off.
And this was from the time that you were in high school.
High school, high school, college. More college and pro.
Were you?
Because I played football in high school and college. Yeah.
Were you captain of the high school team?
Yes.
Captain of the high school team. Mm-hmm. Then you played at Hofstra. We were there at the same time. I had no idea.
Nassau first and Hofstra.
So did I.
Yeah, Nassau first and Hofstra I went.
When were you born? 80 or Nassau?
80.
80. So we're 1 year apart. But so we were at Nassau at the same time together.
Nassau, yeah. Won 2 national championships there.
Really?
2 in a row.
I love Nassau, bro.
Love it.
I love Nassau better than Hofstra, than anything else.
My coaches and teachers might be upset, but I feel the same way.
I learned more at Nassau. The girls were way hotter. I don't know. It was just all better.
It's different. It was just different there. It's hard to explain unless you were there.
It's just a feeling. Before that, I went to Farmingdale, and it was like one of just the most depressing places at the time that I've ever been. I hated it. I stayed there for a year. I left Nassau for 2 years, which was awesome. Then Hofstra for 2 years.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, same path.
Yeah, except the Farmingdale thing. You didn't do Farmingdale.
No, I didn't do.
I was on the 5-year plan.
Nassau 2 years and Hofstra.
Did you do the 5-year plan?
No, I played an extra semester of football my senior year at Hofstra.
So you could do that?
Yeah. Oh.
Were you the captain of the Hofstra team too?
Yes.
You were captain of the Hofstra team. Mm-hmm. Jesus. So
very fortunate, very blessed.
You've just been a dominant force from day one.
It's just work, man. It's work and passion, like I went back to earlier. That's really what it was. It's just work, your work ethic, passion, watching the film, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, knowing that it's not going to last forever. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to be the best. That's really what it comes down to. I wanted to win at all costs and wanted to be the best, whether it was at the game or even on my own team, like everybody.
It wasn't about the money, because at the time, so basically you were what's regarded as, I guess, the first official year of pro lacrosse. Because the first year, you were telling me, was kind of like
it was like
touch and go. Like, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? And then they're like, all right, there's interest here. I mean, dude, I remember this. We're the same age. I remember pro lacrosse coming out. I'm like, wow, pro lacrosse is coming out. And a bunch of guys that I grew up with, you played with, which is very cool.
Yeah, very small world.
Which is very, very cool. Yeah. But so then they're like, all right, we're going to do this. Second year, you're in there, and you basically played a huge part in developing the sport on a professional level.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, the money thing. That's anybody who played lacrosse and knows it's nothing to do with the money.
Even like, are lacrosse players making more money now or no?
They're making more. There's a few that has brand themselves with endorsements, with camps, clinics, and they able to social media today, which we never had when I played early on. It was non-existent. It was the companies that you were endorsed by. They promoted you and marketed you. But today, there are a few that make more. For the most part, it's you're doing it for the love of the game, love of the for kids. Our sport's very unique, where a majority of our fans are kids. Where there's not too many of the sports that are like that. They're like, think about the major sports. A lot of the fans in the stands are going to be adults, drinking beer, cursing everybody because they can. Our fans are kids, and it's a beautiful thing. That's my favorite part about playing lacrosse is that, you can reach out and touch a kid and be able to leave a good impression on them. Like that to me it's the best. It was the most euphoric feeling.
There's also with that comes a tremendous amount of responsibility. Because if you're conscious of that, like you are, like you can't be drunk doing crazy stuff, wilding out in hotel rooms, breaking stuff. Like
carry yourself with class, the right way, professional. Because now it takes one kid to see that, and imagine you destroyed a kid's thought process on lacrosse players and whatever. Now, you know what, mommy, I don't have to eat my vegetables. I could drink beer like this one or drink, no good, man. Like, I cared so much about that with the kids that I tried to carry myself the best I could. I'm not perfect. I've made the mistakes.
I'm the furthest from that. Human, bro.
I'm the furthest from that. I tried to be perfect for many years, and I realized you can't. Things are going to happen. But overall, I just tried to put as much time into the kids and to the sport as I could. Before, after the games, charity work.
I was going to say, you've done a ton of charity work.
I mean, that's what I did. My whole career was pretty much charity,
Yeah, but that's awesome, man. Because at the end of the day, like when you leave here, it's like you can't take the money with you, but like what you've been through and what you've like built.
Not too many people could say that. I mean, me and that generation of these guys. I mean, there were so many great players and even better guys that I started when the league started that I played with and against. That we're considered like pioneers for this game.
Yeah.
The club leagues were around, but the pro league I'm talking about, we started, and it's tremendous.
So it started with 6 teams. How many teams are they up to now?
I think it's 8 teams now. There's another league that's coming out now as well, but it's growing. Either way, it's growing.
So, what's weird? I just had this thing pop into my head about you one day owning your own professional lacrosse team. Is that like a real thing, or did I just make that up in my mind?
Let's just see how. Hopefully, it continues to grow. The college is growing. It's really more and more popular, and that's what happens. Like the kids are playing younger now. There's more kids playing younger now. So I think that this young generation. My son's 7 years old playing travel already, 2029s with Team 91, and when I want to see these generations now, they're all starting. This has been going on for 15 years, 16 years now. This popular. Now you're going to see the level of lacrosse take it to, and that's when I think the whole it's going to.
Which is awesome. Maybe
while I own the team one day, that would be a dream. I mean,
let's talk about a partnership on that.
Sure. Listen, surround yourself with the right people. That was the other key, right?
Yeah,
passion, work ethic. You surround yourself with the right people.
Without a doubt. But when you're a certain kind of person, like those people just kind of gravitate to you.
Right.
That's what I think. So here's the thing that I want people to understand also, because nothing drives me more nutty than when people have excuses about success. Excuses, period. I don't want to hear excuses. Like, I'll help anybody with anything. You have a problem, we'll sit down, we'll methodically try to figure out how to do it. But, like, if you don't take action, like, that's it. I have no patience for you. That's it. Like, for all the time I have, I'm like, that's it. I can't. So, while you are playing lacrosse, like, you can't play lacrosse and support a family. No. It doesn't happen.
No.
So, straight out of college, you go into the medical device field. So as you are talking about no excuses, you have to train to perform on an elite level, right? A, to be a pro athlete, and then B, because you like have this thing in your mind where you're like, I got to be the best, right? And the whole time you are building a new business and you don't know anything about it.
Right.
So like, A, I think that's a lesson that people like, shut up, I don't want to hear you're complaining. Nicky Polanco is one of the greatest that ever played, and he's like building a business to support his wife and 3 kids at the same time. Right, so like, what was that like? And then how do you take the mentality from being a pro lacrosse player and then moving that into business and watching that take off?
Right, it's a great question. It is very unique where the sport is so new. It was so new and still is that you're not able to. Let's say there are a few people that make a living, but to have a full family and everything else, I've yet to see that playing. Can you have your own business, Lacrosse Unlimited and Warrior? That's a different story. But playing, so. I know that after college, I know certain things I knew. I knew I wanted to have a family. I knew I wanted to be around for my family. I knew I wanted to get a job that would not hold me down. I can't do the same train, same cup of coffee, same cubicle. No. I don't care if you give me $1 million a year. That's just not me.
No.
I need to be moving around, interacting with people. Each day is different. And then be able to, be able to be home at a decent time for my family that I didn't even have yet. I mean, engaged, I wasn't anything yet. I mean, nothing. I had a girlfriend at the time, which later ended up being my wife. But so I knew that it limited me to certain industries, and medical devices was great. When Jim Muley, one of my very good friends, like a brother to me, he was my coach at the time, and was also he actually was my teammate at the time, and later on to be my coach. He was in the industry, let me know about it. I saw the way his life was. He made good money. He was a great father. He's around for his kids, and that's what kind of geared me, really pushed me into that industry. So the short of it is checking your ego at the door. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't, you might be the man on the weekends in a game and, signing autographs and doing whatever, shaking hands, kissing babies. And then during the week, you're working a job, waking up at 5 o'clock and 4:30 in the morning, working all day till 5, getting yelled at by nurses and doctors. And it's like, you get your suit on during the week, and on the weekends you take it off and you have the Superman underneath. That's really, it's crazy. A very, very, but it goes back to the way I was raised. No ego, work ethic.
Yeah.
I want to work. I wanted to make money. I had to provide. I knew I wanted a family. I knew I wanted a house. I knew it wasn't going to get that, from lacrosse.
Yeah.
I had to do it for my job, but the job, as stressful as it is, lacrosse was a break too for it. You know what I mean? It was a break for me, and all that while training. It really, it was just being able to juggle. That's what I know. It's what we know as an athlete, as a student athlete. You know that growing up. You're not just going to school. You're not just doing the reports. You're not doing all the testing. You're studying. Then you have to go to study hall. You have to train. You have practice. Then you have film. I'm wired this way, and I feel like I don't know anything else but to work. And excuses are unacceptable. Like you talked about as an athlete, there's no such thing. If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late. No excuses. You just do it. Get it done.
No, you're an intense dude, and that's why I love you, because I thrive off passion, right? Like last night, I'm on the train coming back from school at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, bro, it's like 2 days ago, I'm like, I had a slump, and then I came back the next day, and I'm like, everything's about to take off. I'm texting Maddie. I'm like, bro, this is working. I need that, man. I need that. And that's why you and I click so well, because I feel the energy coming out of you, and I'm like, give it to me, and I'm fucking throwing it back at you.
It's easy to do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Misery loves company. It's easy to be Captain Obvious, not Captain Permit.
Nah.
It's easy to be Captain Obvious and talk about how stressful life can be. It's easy to fall into that trap of, feel bad for me. My mother taught me this too, surround yourself with people who bring you up, who are successful, bring you up. Not, people are insecure. So they want to be the best. They want to have the biggest house. They want their friends, everybody to be beneath them so they feel good. Or they want to be miserable and talk about the Debbie Downer. Fuck that. Excuse me, but fuck that. You want to be. I love to see my friends and do well. It makes me happy that they do well and they're successful, and makes me want to do well.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, and that's where I'm at now. My charity, my career, lacrosse, medical devices, great living. Now I feel like I want to transition all that passion, energy into real estate, and now I want to start making money.
So let me ask you a question though. I'm curious to know about this. I want you to be very, very honest, and because there's no wrong answer here. Is it now about the money, or is it about a new challenge?
It's way more about the new challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, no question.
Because listen, everybody
It's definitely it's money, meaning now when I actually put my passion, energy, and transfer all my energy into this, now hopefully I'll be rewarded with the money so I could take. These are my working years, right? So I've always worked, but now until I'm 40s, whatever.
You'll never stop.
I'll never stop.
I'll stop. You just.
I'll work because I want to work.
Yeah.
Not because I have to, and that's I want. That's the only thing. I don't want everything, but I want enough where I could be comfortable and enjoy my family.
Yeah.
And be happy, be able to go on vacations, take care of my kids, and just give my kids a better life than I had, and my kids hopefully give their kids a better life than when I gave them. And that's really the goal.
And that's the progression. That's what it should be.
It's a challenge. Like the boxing, the MMA stuff that I cross-trained for lacrosse throughout my career. I did it because I wanted to get the competitive edge on all my teammates and everybody else in the league. I wanted to be the fastest, quickest, strongest. So there was no better workout than MMA.
Yeah?
I did that. Yeah, back in the day when everyone's still doing that bodybuilding, chest, back and buys, chest and tries.
What guys were doing, weren't you guys doing agility kind of stuff? Or did you, did they have chiropractors on staff and strength trainers and all that stuff?
They did, but the thought process, that Russian conjugate system, the work, the true way to, the right way to train and work out was not really done back then. It was different. It was bodybuilding, slow movement. Now, so the MMA to me, nobody was really doing it at the time in my sport. There was a few guys, but I was in the best shape of my life training with Keith and them at Belmore.
This is 15 years ago we're talking about.
This is a long time. 15 from 12 to 15 years ago. I mean, I was there for a bunch of years, and so I love that type of training. It helped me so much in the field. Then talking about after now I'm done. I'm retired. I'll never play lacrosse again. I'm done. Like my kids ask me, I'm so done. I'm fine. I'll watch it. I coach it. But the MMA thing for me is
you don't pick up a stick ever?
Oh, I do all the time. I play, but I'm not going to play like organized. I won't play in a game. Like the cleats are hung up. I mean,
I guess it also like it comes to a point where like you've played on such a high level that, like for me, I didn't play professional hockey, but I played at a decently high level. And afterwards, they had like these men's leagues, and I'm like, I can't play men's leagues because it's not the same.
Right.
Like first of all, you can't hit. Not that I'm huge, but it's impossible to play hockey without hitting.
Right.
And then B, like they don't take it the same way. Like if there's not that challenge that competitive nature, like it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I don't. And that, and also on top of it, I did everything I wanted to in my sport. I achieved every goal I wanted to, and I'm very fortunate and blessed to be able to do that. I want to be a father now, a parent. I want to be around for my kids and put that time into my children and my family. That's what I care about. Like it's not about me anymore. Like I had my career. Everything is great.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not going to chase something that's like, my other challenge now is the MMA, the boxing. Like it's such a challenging sport. It's the most difficult sport I feel like there is.
Did you ever fight?
No.
I don't see you as that guy.
No. I just want to be able to be good.
Dude, I can't even imagine getting hit with one of those fucking lunch
I've
boxes.
I've
one
had
of those
several
lunch
scraps.
boxes that you call hands. It's like getting hit with a cinder block.
I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter, right? I mean, I've had some scraps in my life. Don't get me wrong, but I like the challenge of the MMA. Like I'm not good at it, and I want to be good at it. And the sweat it's an addicting sweat. Like you sweat for 2 hours after you train. Like and it's the plyometrics and everything else. So going into the real estate, going back to that, it's not about the money really. It is more about it's a challenge, and I love it. I talked to my father, who's in construction his whole life. My father's got hands of gold. He knows. I wish I knew half of what he knows. And he, I told him the other day. I said, as stressful as it is, I love the challenge. I'm not complaining. It's exciting to learn
the process.
About the process. And the only way to learn is by getting jammed up and hitting your pockets and making mistakes and going through, firing guys and moving, and that's really, where I'm at now. So
failure
it really
is part of that process.
Yes.
I like to kind of like see how your mind works, because as this is kind of like selfish for me. As I realize that I have kind of like a compulsive addictive personality with things, and like I have to get to the point where like I master something and then move on. So I'm just curious to know, like, as other successful people, is it the same for them?
Same exact thing.
But the thing that's very cool about you, which I'm trying to figure out how I do it, because if I go down, I feel like I want to have a family one day, right? You have seemed to master that balance. Now, I'm not going to call it work-life balance because I don't even believe that really exists. But from what I know of you, like, you fish, you do your thing, like, you work your ass off, but you're still very present, with your family and with your kids. Like, there's times you're like, oh, listen, bro, like, I'm going to be with the kids. Like, I can't talk to you about whatever. Right. So I'm very intrigued about how you balance that. Like
you said it right, that word balance. I mean, any of the successful people that I've come across, friends, family, just strangers. When I say success, it's not about money.
Yeah.
Right? Joe Farrell, a friend of mine, Joe Farrell, who's a extremely successul guy, and I'll explain to you in a second.
Is Farrell the builder?
He's the builder at East, yes.
He's doing that project now in CI.
Yes, yep.
I think
the luxury apartments, the condos, yeah. So he we were on his private jet. He came to watch me play when I was playing for the Chesapeake Bayhawks on the way home, and he said, success it's not just about money. It's being able to do everything, being a good husband, being a good father, being a good friend, and then being able to make money, doing that all together. That's true success.
Yeah.
You might make billions, but if you're miserable at home, you're not happy, your wife's not happy, you're not around for your kids, then what the hell does it mean anything? You can't take it with you. The coffins don't have pockets, buddy.
Yeah.
All right?
I'm with that.
For me, it's balance, be able to take care of home first. You got to take care of home. Your wife has to be taken care of. You got to make that your partner in life. Your kids are eventually going to grow up and be raised and move on. And then who are you with? You're sharing that rest of your life with your wife.
Yeah.
The kids are going to have their own lives and do their own thing. They'll be around. But right now, the kids need us, so they're first. They're vulnerable. They come first right now. But in the end, take care of your wife. Take care of your home. Then take care of your kids. You want to be in their life. They need us. They don't need money. They don't need trips. They don't need toys. I always say, get down on the floor and play Legos. Like, when your kids are young, you're tired, you come home, it's very uncomfortable laying on the floor and playing Legos as a full-grown man. Like, it's not.
Well, when you're 6'5".
Yes, it's not. But you do it. You know why? Because eventually they're not going to want to play Legos. And you just want to be in their life. So for me, take care of your family, take care of home, your kids, and then be able to, do all the other things. Have that work ethic. And you have to just recognize when it's too much. But, the real secret is choosing the right partner, too.
Yeah.
If you don't choose the right partner, Like, I know I can go to work every day. My wife is taking care of my kids, the house. She prides herself in doing everything. If you don't have, you have to worry all the time, or you get your balls broken every single day you come home, you're not going to want to come home. You're going to want to work. Like, people ask you how marriage is, and I say I look forward to going home every day. Yeah, we have fights and we do it. It's perfectly normal, but I look forward to going home. There are my friends who have a great work ethic, who come home at 9 o'clock. It's because they don't want to go home. Yeah. It's nothing to do with working. They don't want to go home. I love going home. And I don't like to sit in my house and do, I like to be out working, but you have to have the right partner to be able to do everything. Because if you don't have the right partner, you can only be so successful, or at least be, I want to say the right word, it sounds very crazy, successfully successful. Like, and meaning, you might be able to make money and be a coach for your team, but now if you have the other missing piece where your wife is cheating on you, you're cheating on your wife, or you're not home, or your kids really don't even know how to ride a bike, and they're 12 years old, they don't know how to ride a bike, what does that mean? Oh yeah, we have a house here, we have this, we've been on vacation, we do whatever. Like, guys have separate wives and lives on the side. Or women, the same thing. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, but you have money. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's just the way I look at it as. I mean, I'm the furthest from perfect. I made plenty of mistakes in my life. But I try to, I listen to other people and I see what works for everybody else, and I just try. I'm not a professional father. I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out. Still trying to be a good husband and trying to, it's not easy, man. It's not.
I guess it's like, you could have a plan, but if you think that you can do anything other than wake up and ride that roller coaster, like, that's just, you got to just hold on.
Yes.
And I ask you these things it's like therapy for me, because as I get older and I'm like, I'm the kind of person where I'm like 150% at one thing. Like, point me in the direction of something and like I'll crush it, right? But I'm not good at doing a whole bunch of things well at the same time. And typically, like, I feel like most people aren't, because if you spend all your time doing one thing, you're going to master it very quickly. Sure. When you spread it out, it takes longer, sure, inevitably. So it's like, how do you balance that? And then I think about, like, what's my why, and what's my why in life? What makes me happy? So it's like, what makes all of us happy?
That's exactly right.
So for you, it seems like, you've accomplished a lot of what you wanted to, and then you're still going because you like the challenges, but you're very, like, there's always like a very calm sense I get from you, where there's like a certain contentment, not in like a bad way, not in like, I don't want to work, I'm checked out at like 38 years old. Sure. But like, you're always very content, which is, you don't see that in a lot of people.
Right, it's hard. I mean, I try to, because if you're chasing all the time, then you're gonna miss. It'll pass you by. Like, and I get caught up sometimes too. Like, and that's when, again, having a good partner. My wife would be like, "Listen, you don't realize, but put the phone down, or come out of the office for a bit. This, and that's what you need. And you can't get mad and say, "Honey, just get out of here," like, and push her away. You have to. It's very hard, man. This is not. It's not easy. Trust me. I'm saying it. It's easier to come out, but it's to actually do it, and it's very hard to be able to have that balance of both. And being content, you know what? Because if we chase, life's going to pass you by, and it's going to be like, damn, I didn't even get a chance to enjoy it. And then we're only as good as our health. Our health is not there, then what? Then it goes out the window. So we're hearing this more and more. People getting sick and things happening, and I live it with the business that I'm in as well. Like, then where are you? Yeah. Then all people do when they're sick, all people wish for is more time. And they wish they would have spent more time with family, or they want to spend more time with friends and family. Or they say, a recent friend who just passed said, "Nick," and I talked to him like he was on a deathbed, like 3 days before he passed. He said, "Just don't surround yourself with people who are negative, man. Don't even entertain the conversation. Just say I have to go." Like Tom Stark, man, I miss you. I miss him a lot. And it's just don't even entertain it. Just be around people who are happy. Enjoy yourself, because I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time with my wife and my kids. And I wish I had more, and that's so for us, how do I not take that and run with it? And because I'm exposed to people who are sick all the time with my job.
That's interesting. Like,
I feel like God, I'm very spiritual, but God, I'm in this role for a reason, this job for a reason, because I'm helping people in my family currently and previously who are sick, and helping my friends. And I might not make millions with my job, but I'm able to help people, and I feel like there's no coincidence. There's a reason for everything. And if you're around all these people all the time, you have to look at life and the things. Everybody, it's all relative, and people stress out about small things, and it's okay with that. But it's okay that people do that, but only to a certain extent. You can't let it consume you and take over. Yeah. You have to enjoy yourself and say, you know what, it's going to be okay. This house, this didn't sell, whatever it is, take it easy. You know what I mean? We have our health, we're not dying. You know what I mean? And that's really where I try and find a balance of, all right, let's take a step back. Not saying I don't stress, but it's really not that bad. You know, in the grand scheme of things, so. It helps me.
It's all about perspective.
It's all about perspective, man. That's it.
So now you're on the real estate full force. What's the next 3 years look like? What's the next 5 years look like?
My goal is to continue to flip, to build capital, and my goal is to have rent roll. I want as much rent roll as I could possibly handle.
Say that again, bro.
I want.
Everybody needs to hear that.
Listen, I want to flip, to build capital, and buy as many rental properties as possible. I want tons of rent roll, and I want rent roll. I want rental properties. That's really what my 100% focus is on. Whether it's shopping centers or multi-units. Units really is where I want to go. I mean, multi-units. I'm starting off right now. I'm a small guy. I'm a little nothing right now, and 2 families, 3 families, starting there, getting to understand it, what it's like, and then eventually build up from there. And that's really what I care about for the future. That's what I want to do.
No, it's like I preach this all the time. I'm teaching a class in like an hour to realtors. I teach real estate investing for realtors on passive income.
That's right.
So people they're like, oh, I'm going to learn to flip, and I'm like, so in the half the room was like, oh, and I'm like, bro, listen, flipping seems sexy on TV, but I tell them, listen, I'm like, listen, I flip to buy rentals. It's that simple. I flip to buy rentals because that's the stuff that is going to change your kids' lives. That's it. Right?
So that's my focus. Is all about my kids.
Yeah.
Not about me. Like I have everything I want. Right? I like to go out to dinners whenever I want. I like to, you know what I mean? Like to be able to go on vacation kind of whenever I want. Other than that, and I love to fish. And I have my boat. Do I get a big one day? Yes. But right now, other than that, I have everything. I want to set my kids up for the future. Be able to have. That's really. So again, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, that was perfect, man. Listen. So how do you're always looking to buy real estate. You're always looking to buy multifamily. You're always looking to flip properties. I know you're not a big social media guy, but like if people have something for you, real estate wise, how do they get in touch with you? How do people get a hold of you?
I have Nicky Polanco 41 on Instagram. DM, I guess, is the right?
Yeah.
So you could DM me.
We're dinosaurs.
Man. Yeah, exactly. It's terrible. I never want to get caught up in it. It's terrible. I'm also 38 going on 60. So my friends tell me all the time I'm like an old man.
You are an old soul.
I'm like an old man. Old soul is a very nice compliment, so thank you. But I am like an old man. I don't know. I know that today's day and age is more about social media and linking up, but I like just breaking bread, man. I love to sit down and have a meal and have to be able to speak to somebody face to face. So if anybody wants to do, I love to entertain and hear what they have to say. I love food. I'm very extremely passionate about it. I love to just sit down, break bread, have a conversation like a normal person instead of texting and doing this. Like that's not me, man. I like more of the personal side of things.
I'm with you, man. So Nicky Polanco, if you can't get in touch with him, you get in touch with me, and I'll get you in touch with him.
That's the answer. That's exactly it.
I'll screen them.
I'm loyal to my friends. Screen them. Charlie can take the better houses, and then I'll take the leftovers, which is fine. I'll work my way up. Again, no egos. It's all good.
If you have a house that smells like cat pee, is dated from the 1960s,
oh my goodness.
You have land, commercial, anything,
orders.
I want to buy it. 516-777-SOLD. If you have a permit problem, and Lord knows, if you don't have one already, you will in the future. Captain Permit, 516-513-8838. It's a wrap.
Thank you.
Probably the man.
Awesome. I hope it was all right.
It was great.
I think.
Orgulloso estoy de mi herencia judía. Benjamín Lev Ben Shlomo. Cuando me llaman a la torre, así me llamo yo.